Here on the show, your fresh alternative music right here, usually from 12:30 to 3. You can hear me today from 1 to 2. We got another 10 minutes here, then we're going to wrap this show up. Short 1 hour packed show today, but it is because later on today we will be covering the athletic games for CSI's CUNY basketball teams of the men's team taking on the same college that the women's team will be taking on. The women taking on the Medgar Evers College at 5:30, then the men's at 7:30 tip-off around there. Back-to-back games, doubleheader. I will be calling both of those games. The first, color commentary with my esteemed play-by-play announcer, Christopher Scott, here from WSI Staten Island. And the second game, I will be taking the lead on that one, being helped out by Sammy Love himself here from WSI. I love saying that name. It just sounds good. Not as good when he says it, though. And engineered by Ishike and Dave Grace, of course, with our social media contributor, Daniel Peranio, here for WSI Staten Island 88.9 FM 150 right now. And the last updates for your sports news: the status of NHL players in 2018 Olympics is now unclear. Whether NHL players will take the ice during the 2018 Olympics in South Korea is actually now unknown. Commissioner Gary Bettman is refusing to discuss the subjects during the Sochi Games. The league and its unions have allowed players to be in the Olympics since 1998. That has created a hockey tournament that is one of the Olympics' most popular events. The NHL now and its players' union has said a decision about the 2018 could be made in about 6 months. However, both sides don't want to be tied to a timetable. Bettman says a decision on the Olympics will be based on whether the players want to opt out or not. And also, we'll go to the NFL, Suggs signs as the Ravens linebacker gets a 4-year extension. Terrell Suggs will most likely finish the NFL career of his as a member of the Baltimore Ravens. The Pro Bowl linebacker signs a 4-year contract extension with the Ravens. The 31-year-old will get paid $21 million over the first 3 years of that contract, and it includes $16 million guaranteed. Suggs was a first-round pick back in 2003. He has been to 6 Pro Bowls and was named NFL's Defensive Player of the Year in 2011. Suggs is Baltimore's all-time leader in sacks and forced fumbles. Once again, your sources here today from the USA News Network. For the NFL coming up, Johnny Manziel saying that if the Texans do not take him with the first overall pick, it'll be the worst decision that they've ever made in their lives. Yes, that is exactly what he said. He says if they, and I will now paraphrase, saying that if they let him drop to Jacksonville, who's in the division, it'll really come back and bite them in the you-know-what. And Jacksonville does have a top 5 pick this year in the draft. My opinion on this is Johnny Manziel is, in fact, going to get drafted in the first 3 picks. I mean, the kid's got talent. He's got escapability, movement in the pocket. He's not Russell Wilson in terms of his maturity. We all know the off-field issues and on-field charisma, I guess you could say, that Johnny Football possesses in terms of his attitude towards other players or towards, the noise going on outside of the game, referencing the money signs with his hands. The fact is the kid wants to play. He's a winner. He's got talent. But can he, lasso it in sometimes and play a little more composed, calm football? As we see, Russell Wilson never seems rattled. And, when they're comparing running quarterbacks, as Manziel has been compared to Wilson scrambles behind the line to throw, and you rarely ever see a big hit on the quarterback, Russell Wilson. Johnny Manziel, he's getting hit a lot. And, again, he's 6 foot, around 200 pounds, but he's getting lit up when he runs across the field. And he's got great speed, he's got great legs, playmaking ability when he gets in the open field, but, he rarely gives up extra yards, or rather he fights for those extra yards, and that's what gets him contacted so much. Now, he hasn't really had an injury history per se, but that's not going to last much longer if you keep playing in the NFL and trying to make linebackers miss in the open field. You're going to get hit, and you're going to get hit a ton. And that's the questions and concerns regarding Johnny Manziel going forward is, can this kid play smart football? Can he avoid the big hit? Can he learn to fight another day and learn to play another play and not worry about making that extremely dramatic, worthwhile ESPN highlight play instead of throwing the ball away, not getting sacked, not getting hit, and saving his body and his legs going forward for the rest of the regular season? That's the main question, and I think that he's going to have to improve that and show and explain mostly in detail during interviews, during the combine, and just shows scouts, not really the scouts, but the representatives of the players' teams. I mean, they all know how Johnny can play right now, but it's more as his mindset going into the NFL, because you don't want a repeat of what happened to RG3 this year after playing his rookie year, being the rookie of the year, playing so physical, not going out of bounds, taking the hits, and that cost him pretty much a great season going forward this year, as RG3 was injured with that knee brace for most of the year and couldn't contribute the way that he did in his rookie year. So we'll see how that goes going forward. And, of course, Michael Sam still in the news, the first openly gay NFL prospect who is likely to be drafted this year between 3rd and 5th rounds. And now NFL executives are saying that his stock may, in fact, be affected by his pronunciation of his homosexual lifestyle. And to be honest, if it does, I mean, that's obviously not right. I mean, regarding as a human like that, they said that this guy, who is in fact the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year, was projected originally to be a 3rd to 4th round pick. Now he's the 5th round pick. Now it says that some teams may have taken him off their draft board entirely. And if that happens, that's obviously an injustice. And I think that's more talk and speculation. I really don't believe that's going to happen. I think Michael Sam will be drafted in the top 4 rounds. And I think that he'll actually be a very productive player and a starter immediately once he gets on the team, because this guy is extremely physical at the point of attack. And frankly, once he starts succeeding, as I expect him to do, hopefully we can put his personal life issues behind him and just now openly accept gay players and not even have it be a talking point as an issue. Because when you're covering sports and when you're in the world of sports and you actually appreciate the game, you have little time to actually care about personal life and whether or not this person is a moralistic human being. It's more as, can they contribute on the football field, and that's all that we have to worry about going forward. And that's all that NFL GMs should be worrying about right now, considering Michael Sam and his personal life, which should be considered as it is. Right now, 156 here, and we're going to wrap it up here from WSIA Staten Island 88.9 FM. This was Overtime, and your host, Shane DiMaio, as we do it here every Tuesday and close it out with a nice Oh Canada courtesy of Shane Blackbird. We will be using this Olympic-themed CD until the Olympics do conclude in a week. And it's just very nice theme. From all of us here at WSIA Staten Island 88.9, this was Overtime Radio, and this was your host, Shane DiMaio. Continue to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And listen today to WSIA 88.9 FM starting at 5 o'clock for the pregame show, leading up to the women's CSI Dolphins taking on the Medgar Evans team, and then the men's team taking on Medgar Evans. Following right after that is a back-to-back doubleheader of CSI CUNYAC Sports here at WSIA Staten Island 88.9 FM. Shane DiMaio once again signing off. I will talk to you guys later. Peace, and I'm out.